Okay, hello YouTube. This is going to be a quick tutorial video on how to do multiple train item drop-off lines and have the trains choose the path with the lowest stockpile in the drop-off. Using the logistics system, we're also going to make it into a blueprint to make it easily scalable and visually effective. Alright, anyway, we're going to do this quickly, so let's get right into it. We've got two arithmetic combinators that we're going to need to take the signal from the first line into just this one, and the signal from the second line into the next. We are going to take that iron plate signal and we're going to add 0 to it and output a value of A. Similar logic to the second, so we're just going to copy and paste it over, but switch the output signal to a B. And we're going to take one decider combinator and connect from the output of both of these to this input of our new decider combinator. We're going to check that when B is less than A, we're going to output a value of G. Two decider combinators on the back end are going to take an infeed from a red line into both sides. It has to be the red line, and that'll be apparent in just a moment. But we're going to take G is equal to 0, and we are going to output any iron signal that is being input. We're going to copy this over to get the same logic for here, the only difference being the greater than signal. Right now, it looks like we are getting an input value of iron directly into this because I messed up the line from here. Just fix that really quick, pumping it into the back here so we get an output of A, which means B is the less than value now, and we are outputting 1G, but there is no iron signal coming in yet. This is where we're going to take the infeed side here and also connect it up to our value there. Q to break your line, and do the same on the other side, the infeed into the A signal up to here. This way we're outputting the iron that is relative to whichever side is the value, and because we know we're only outputting one of these two at any given time, we can connect both infeeds there, and we're for now going to treat this as the end of our line and add a arithmetic combinator here. This will come in handy for the final part of our line. We need to drop a couple of decider combinators. Hey, look, I left that one up there from the last time I did this. That'll work. The decider combinator needs to check whether or not an input signal of A is equal to the input signal of iron, and it needs to output a value of G, which is going to be for our gate value. We're going to take that infeed of green there, and on the input side we're going to connect this down to the storage using this transport belt to give us an extra little bit of that gap. We need to connect this using the red line. Again, this is an important distinction for the red line so that it doesn't cross the signal being sent down the system this way with just the iron for that line. We'll use this to connect that same minimum value that has been calculated. This needs to be iron plus 0 output A, again so that we can compare that value properly. And once we're down at this end, this is going to use the exact same logic as this, so we will copy paste it onto this object here. Green line into there. The output side needs to connect down to the iron stored in the box. So this means that only when the lowest value that has made it through the system matches the iron for the current row will this be allowed to turn on. G equals 0 is the only time that is when this is closed, so when G is output as 1, this will be allowed to open. A key thing that we want to add to our blueprint is the ability for it to know that we're not comparing for this line if there's a train currently in the stop. A useful trick for this is the fact that the rail signals will not output their signal of red unless unless there's actually a train within this block. So what we're going to do is use a red signal greater than 0 to output a value of b. And because we have such a large value of b that we're going to output from here, we don't have to worry about so we don't have since we have such a large value of b that we're going to output from here, when this signal is red, we'll know that this one's not going to ever be the minimum value. 999 million is just way too big a number for it to be the minimum value. The only place that this needs a little extra, and this is actually just because it's the start, so we don't want this part to be in the blueprint, we're going to keep it a little bit more off to the side here. We're going to switch this to an A and an A. Oh, but we have to make sure we increase that A value to 999 million. And this needs to take its signal from this one. The outputting on the green line so that it combines with the A signal from this when a train is inside that area, and that is going to be our functioning system, which with two trains like this, it's kind of hard to see that they're separating properly, so we'll go ahead and create a blueprint of what we have here, line it up with our other power lines, power substations, and let's just go ahead and add 3 of these. The most important thing to remove from further blueprints, like this old spot's no longer going to be the end, and this is a trick that is used specifically for values at the end of the line. So we will create a couple of transport belts to carry our signals, our later signals, further down this row. This is now an iron value that is output at the end here, so we're going to use that as the A value for the new line. Q to break that one, and we're going to, this is already connected in, so we should be outputting our values proper. We need to break that one and connect A across, break that one, connect A across, break that one. Nope, I didn't need to break that one. That was the last one. That one needs to stay the same. So we will add that back in really quick. Essentially, it's this logic. Connect the green wire into here, and using the red line, we'll connect that into there. We need to connect these other red lines across the way. So do that up really quick. We need to connect our train lines. Train lines are connected across, and we need to make sure that the names of the stations are all going to be iron plate drop-off. So we'll shift right click there to copy and paste down the train station names, and now these trains are going to default to going to these new stations. We're going to reconnect these trains here just so we have a few extra trains running in the system, and we will demonstrate how these are going to start catching up to these lower values because they will default to these further ones out with ooh, I skipped something important because signals are not going all the way back down, and that is an obnoxious problem. That's all connected. What is our signal here? 1534. I connected the red wire here to the wrong location. It would appear 1500 being the lowest value that makes it through is this line here. So now they'll start working appropriately. This next lowest will immediately open up, so this is the next lowest value, and as soon as a train enters there, even before new values have been calculated, it'll open the next one available up, the next minimum value up, because that red signal sends out that really high B value. And I'm not going to give it too much more time to run, but you can see that they are sticking to the lower values first, and that other paths are still opening up, so it's not actually going to create a blockade where they're waiting to only go to the minimum. And you can see how quickly I was able to scale that out to multiple rows and add them into the same system. So that is the demonstration of using the logistics system to send trains specifically to the minimum stockpiled outposts. That stop just needs to go away. I'm going to let that run for a moment.